The Furian ambassador couldn't hide his frustration when he got inside the office of his human colleague. It was an imposing sight to see the equivalent to a 7-foot bipedal cross of a polar bear and a lion stand right in front of the 5'6" unassuming human male, with his eyes crossed and his eyes fixed in a scowl. "Do you have a moment for me, Ambassador Amir?" lowly growled Ambassador Greymane. "Of course," eagerly replied the human with a polite smile. "I guess you received my answer to your request for support." "Oh, I did. And I can't seem to understand why you insist on sending harmless people to do a warrior's job." Ambassador Amir appeared perplexed by his colleague's statement. "Harmless? It isn't exactly the term I would use to describe them. Did you perchance miss the information package I joined with my answer?" Ambassador Greymane answered with a scoff. "You mean the one where you specifically stated they have been the ones doing the most peacekeeping missions on your own world for the past decades? The one where you mentioned they came from a country considered one of the most polite from your own world? What need do we have for peace-loving, kind people? I asked you for help in stopping the escalation between two of our closest allies. We can't intervene to not cause diplomatic incidents by taking one side or the other. You know these beings won't respect anything less than a true warrior, and you offer us this?" Ambassador Greymane was starting to let his anger true before he managed to gather himself. Ambassador Amir used this chance to put up his message to his colleague. "Did you finish reading past the first page, Ambassador Greymane? You might want to do it before we finish this discussion." He quickly followed his suggestion by offering his own tablet to his colleague. The Furian angrily snatched it from his hand and started complaining. "Why should I bother reading more about those pitiful excuses of a soul?" The facial expression of a Furian is hard to read for a lot of people, but not for Ambassador Amir, who is used to his colleague's antics. The progressive succession of surprise, shock, and horror on his face was a drastic change from his previous angry scowl. "How? That can't be possible. How can they be considered the kindest and the worst at the same time?" The Furian ambassador was now not only horrified, but confused. Ambassador Amir allowed himself a grin. "Kindest? I never said kindest, I said polite. Being kind and polite aren't the same thing, and I wouldn't exactly say the worst. They have a creative approach toward the rules and are willing to do what needs to be done. Their motto is, officially, 'We will find a way.' One of our generals once said that when you assign a task to any troop, you need to check with them to make sure it's done. Unless it's one of them, then you can check it from your list. They will find a way. And also, Ambassador, do you remember why you specifically asked us for help?" Having gathered himself, the Furian ambassador looked his colleague in the eyes and replied with a slightly perplexed look. "Of course I remember. The humans are a race with some of the greatest warriors and one of the most aggressive. Our two allies respect strength the most and wouldn't listen to anyone they consider lesser during a conflict." Ambassador Amir couldn't hold his smile longer. "Exactly. Now, Ambassador Greymane, I would like for you to consider this for a moment. If humans are great warriors and one of the most aggressive, what kind of people does it take to stand in between two of our factions and say, 'There will be peace here. We are here to make sure it happens in a timely and civilized fashion. Please act accordingly'? Would you personally stand in between two human groups bent on killing each other and try to stop them?" Realization slowly crept through the Furian ambassador's expression. "You are suggesting sending madmen to a conflict zone?" Ambassador Amir replied to his colleague with a serious face. "Not madmen. Objectives-driven professionals with a troubleshooting mindset. You told us it would be near impossible to de-escalate this conflict, and they took this as a challenge." The Furian ambassador couldn't hide his surprise. "Took? You already contacted them?" "Of course. I wouldn't suggest their help without consulting with their commandant first. They suggested we forwarded you the information package we sent you, and I intend to do the same to your allies once you approve the deployment. I can only hope they read it to the end this time." The Furian ambassador took a pensive look. "I will get in touch with their ambassadors personally and make sure they realize who's there to help them solve this situation. I hope no one manages to anger these Canadians." For the first time, Ambassador Amir appeared slightly worried. "It usually takes a lot, but I sure hope so too. It will be their first mission outside of Earth, and I don't fancy learning the paperwork about galactic war crimes at the moment."